Hello tenor guitar players, welcome back to a new video. It has definitely been a while and I do apologize. Summer has gotten away from me. We've been really wonderfully busy with Traditions of Jazz initiatives. We've brought in some bands, we've had some concerts. A Joyful Little Band has had plenty of summertime gigs bringing all of our traditional jazz tunes to central Wisconsin. So I do apologize. I haven't sat down to make a video in a couple of months now. I'm gonna get back on it though, because I've got some new ideas and I promised some new sharing of tunes, and I'm so glad to see that people are watching the videos and maybe playing around with this, again, Chicago tuning on a tenor guitar. You can also be playing Chicago tuning on a tenor banjo. You could also be playing a baritone ukulele. So it's really thrilling to see comments on the YouTube channel and to be getting emails from some of you. I've had people reach out to Traditions of Jazz, and yes, all of those emails easily make it to me. We are a small little nonprofit and it's right in my inbox. So it's been really great to connect with some of you. So I know last time I hinted at, I have a new song, we're gonna do something new, but there is a middle stepping stone that I realized is actually a super valuable one that we're gonna make as quick as possible, because I know new songs are more fun, but we need to revisit Careless Love for just a quick video, 10 minutes. And then you're gonna go and practice some of this. We need to revisit Careless Love because one of the most valuable tools to see how these chords move around on the neck is to simply take a tune you know, Careless Love, and change it into a different key. This is of course called transposing. So we are going to take our Careless Love, which was in the key of C, and we are going to test our knowledge by moving it into the key of B flat. The key of B flat is a whole step lower than C. Go back and revisit your musical alphabet if you need to do that. Keeping in mind we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but at certain interjected points we have the half-step creations like C, C sharp, D. Or you could think of that as D, D flat, C. This is really critical to understand. You cannot skirt over this knowledge because it will cause so much confusion if you try to kind of bypass it. So write it all out, go back to previous videos, and just make sure that those half steps are all making sense. So we are combining two half steps to lower this song by a whole step. So instead of singing, for example, oh love, oh love, oh careless love, I'm going to be playing it here. Instead of my 5th fret creating that home plate sort of idea, I'm going to be doing this from my 3rd fret, because lowering by 2 frets is the equivalent of 2 half steps, which is the equivalent of a whole step, which is the distance between C and B flat. So now the tune, instead of oh love, oh careless love, it's gonna be here. Oh love, oh careless love. It's a little bit lower for my voice, but it's worth the demonstration to shift this into a different key. So all of the chord shapes that you were playing from the key of C are going to work totally fine in the key of B flat. So let's look at these. We have that same C shape chord, but now instead of this being a C chord, it's a B flat chord. I'll put the charts up so you can see this at the end. You'll be able to see the whole chart in B flat. So this is now a B flat chord, and this is now an F7 chord, and then we'll go back to the B flat chord. We'll go B flat again, we'll go G7, C7, and F7. And you're gonna do some comparisons here. I'm gonna give you both the PDFs, so you'll be able to do some comparing. So if these letter names aren't quite making sense, it's okay. It'll make more sense when you have 2 pieces of paper in front of you. We go back to B flat, this is B flat 7, and then we're gonna go to E flat. And now I have a little bit of a problem, because when I was in the key of C, that was an F chord. You might remember it was here, and I went down here to find that F minor. I don't have enough room to do that now that I've lowered everything a whole step. I hit the nut, right? I just have nowhere to go. So from this E flat major, I need an E flat minor chord, but I need to find one somewhere else on the neck. So I want you to think, what minor shapes do you know? We know an A minor shape. That's actually what we used to make this F minor when we were in the key of C. But another minor shaped chord that we know is the D minor shape. If you need to review it, we actually used it in the very first representation of Careless Love because it was before we figured out the D7. So anyway, here's this D7 shape. Now think of your musical alphabet. If this is a D minor chord, D and E flat, which is what I'm looking for, are really close together. As a matter of fact, they're only a half step apart. So if I take this D minor shape right here on my 5th fret, and if I go up to the 6th fret, there it is. That's your E flat minor. It's a different configuration, but because we are working to understand these chord shapes and then how to move them around, it's a perfect example of flexible moving if you're transposing a tune like this. So here's that E flat from the 3rd fret. Here's my E flat minor up to the 6th fret. That's where my index finger is. And then I go back to B flat and F and B flat. So here's the whole tune. I will say this would be a fine point to pause and try to play it on your own, of course. But if you feel like you want to just keep on flying through it, I'll go ahead and sing through the whole thing. I gotta make sure I'm singing it in B flat. Oh love, oh careless love. You go to my head like wine. You wrecked the hearts of many a young gal, and you nearly wrecked this heart of mine. So let me play just that little middle part. Okay, so with that little accommodation to find that new minor chord, we've got the tune transposed. And this is where transposing is such a valuable skill, because you can take knowledge you have, you can take a tune that you already know, and just kind of challenge yourself to play it in a different key. This is something that in the trad jazz world, it happens a lot. We sometimes just use transposition as an exercise. And it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's such a good skill for our brain. So try not to be resistant to this idea. It does come in handy. There are times where, you know, the tune that I found in one book is just not in the same key that somebody else learned it in, or especially as a singer, making accommodations for the key that a singer wants to do a tune in. You kind of have to prioritize that. It's just the way it works, right? If you're playing instrumentals in the trad jazz world, there are kind of predetermined keys that are just considered the most common. But the ability to transpose is just a really wonderful, like, musical exercise, this mental exercise, and you can see why. You have to stay really engaged in what you're doing, thinking through, what am I going to do when I run out of the way I would normally move my movable chord? If I can't do it, I've got to find a different solution. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. So I am going to link PDFs, because that is one thing that has been requested, is can we get PDFs of these tunes so that you guys can print them and scribble them up with whatever notes you need to add. The answer is yes, I would love to give you PDFs. The unfortunate part is YouTube doesn't allow me to simply add a PDF link into the description of this video. So here's what you guys have to do. You have to go to traditionsofjazz.org. That's the nonprofit's website, and on the website we have an area with our blogging, and it's called Learning Out Loud. Big part of what we believe in. All of us are just navigating this music, having so much fun learning it and exploring it. So this out loud sort of learning is something we're really proud of. You don't always see the polished, finished product with us. You're gonna see like all the work that goes into knowing how to tackle a new song. So if you go to the blog, there will be a part that is for the tenor guitar content. So I will make sure the original Careless Love is up there. You can click on it and print it. And now I will also be adding Careless Love in B flat. So you can do some kind of page by page comparisons, which what I would tell you to look for would be to look for the things that are the same. A lot of these chord shapes, we're just sliding them around, and hopefully that's starting to kind of resonate with how you're able to name these chords. And then, as I mentioned in the previous Careless Love video, I do have another tune in mind, and it is also in B flat. So there was a reason why I wanted to kind of get to the key of B flat, and instead of doing that via a brand new tune and just jumping into the key of B flat, I thought, hey, let's take Careless Love, lower it a whole step, and get a little bit familiar with these chords. We'll do a review of these chords because I haven't really named them very concisely for you in this video, but I think in the next video with a new tune, we'll really dive into making sure that we know the names of these and how we're going to kind of flow from one to the next. Again, that is usually using some version of the circle of fifths. So we'll keep on diving into that next time. Until then, happy, joyful music making. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully in just a couple of days I'll have another video out. Take care.